getting in a core workout today. This is something that I practice myself. This is how I tune up my core and I tighten my tummy line. So let's get started. Let's get a good workout in, and we're going to be focusing on really creating a good burn in our abs. So come and lay down on your back. And once you get on the ground, always make sure that your spine is nice and neutral. You don't have a super curve in the low back, so you're not doing any weird arching position. You want to make sure you have the spine nice and relaxed. So you have your rib cage down, your belly is pulling down, and we're gonna get straight to work. So you're gonna bring your knees up. You're going to keep your feet floating right at the level of the knee. You're going to keep your knees at the level of the hips. Now my thighs are close together. So if you follow me, you already know that we use our inner thigh muscles to fire up a lot more muscles. So this is going to help enhance your lower core. So make sure that you're feeling that upper inner thigh tension. Make sure that you're feeling that lower abdominal tension already. And make sure your rib cage is nice and relaxed downward so you can get that nice core brace. Now, once you're in place here, you're going to reach your hands up. You're going to take about 2 deep breaths here, inhaling and exhaling. Breathing deeply. And then we're going to start to reach the hands overhead. We're not going to stop, so we're just going to flow. I'm not going to do counting or number of repetitions. You're just going to go with the flow, and I'll cue you when to switch it up. So just softly bringing your arms overhead. Palms are nice and open. Thighs are still braced towards each other. Core is nice and braced. Then we're gonna keep the hands all the way overhead, and we're gonna do little leg length and then bringing it in. Now the arms overhead makes it challenging for the core to stay down on the ground. That's where we're doing the arms overhead. So once you get your arms up, your core usually wants to lift. You're going to resist that. You're going to press that core down. Keep those hands overhead, and then practice a few of these leg length to then bringing it back in. The knees never separate. My toes are touching together, and I have a little bit of a heel separation, but this alignment really tunes up the core. Immediately, you'll start to feel the lower abdomen as you get those thighs tighter and as you maintain those toes together. It's almost like you're crunching through the center of your body. Now bringing the hands to center and then all the way overhead. A little more length. Continue, you're inhaling and exhaling, breathing. Remember, we're going for time, not number of reps. The only thing I will be cueing you mostly in is your alignment so you can maintain that nice strong workout tension. Continue, your toes stay together, your knees stay driven together. Do not separate your legs, do not separate your knees. Go for a few more. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Now the hands stay still here, and we start to pedal the feet. Little by little, hands are reaching, nice deep breathing. Each time you pedal, the inner thighs are brushing towards each other. So you're not letting the legs come apart. You're keeping them nice and closed in. Try to stretch the leg long. It doesn't have to be down all the way, but you want to go for length. So the longer you make it, and the more you lengthen that leg and that hamstring out, the more you will feel the work. Reaching your hands overhead, tensing that core down. Once again, you're inhaling, exhaling, and breathing deeply. You're keeping those ribs down. Remember, the arm reaching overhead is going to challenge your core because usually you want to get that core up and away from the ground. So you're kind of countering, you're really pulling that core down as those hands are reaching. Continue, you're breathing. Then bring the hands back over the heart, and then you're gonna bring hands to the left knee, right leg lengthens. You're gonna bring it back in, and then switch it over to the other side. Inhaling, exhaling. You're trying to lengthen that leg all the way through now. I grab the other knee so I can just keep it in place. Sometimes you'll lose a little bit of control of that other leg as you're trying to work that core side. Breathing. Inhaling and exhaling, continuing. Remember, the thighs are close towards each other. They're not separated. If you lose the inner thigh engagement, you're going to lose the tension that you're trying to work with. You're going to lose that lower core. Lower core is so hard to, the lower belly is something that people really want to target, but you really want to activate it through that inner thigh tension. Nice. Now, you're going to hold it here. You're keeping the hands down on the side, and then you're tapping the toes down. Knees are together. They don't separate. You're inhaling, exhaling, and breathing. The core stays nice and pulled down. Tapping. Now make sure you tap and you bring it back in. Tap and bring it back in. Your hip is very still. The only thing that's moving is your leg bone, in and down. Hands are reaching. Hands are reaching all the way overhead, and you continue to tap. This overhead hand reach is so challenging for me, at least. The core, I feel it wants to lift so bad from the ground, and just holding it down is a challenge. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling. I'm starting to feel it a little bit now. And then holding it still. Now you're going to come up. Place the upper inner thighs towards each other very tightly. Place your hands on top of your knees. Look to your belly. Reach one. Lower low. Chin is tucked in. 2. Lower low. You're rolling your shoulders off the ground. 3. Rolling a little. Let's do a couple more. I'm shaking here. My voice may or may not crack, so bear with me. Inhaling, exhaling, and breathing. Look into your belly. No stress in neck. If you keep your chin in and you lift through your shoulder, you won't lift through your neck. Do not do this, please. Chin in, roll. The more you tuck the chin in, and the rolling up is going to help you. 2 more. Breathing, 1. And then last one. Release and lower down. Hands are by the ground. You're going to stretch the legs a little lower this time, and then bring it in. A little lower this time, bring it in. This is going to really target your lower belly, at least this core workout. There's some core workouts that can be more upper abdomen driven. This is more definitely lower abdomen driven. Be careful with your hip flexors. If you keep your core nice and strong, you should not feel your quads or hip flexor. If you do, you got to check back in with your form and alignment. It means that you're using other muscles that you're not supposed to be using. So keep tabs on the core bracing, on where you need to be feeling it. Now, legs go up. You may or may not be able to straighten them, no pressure. They can be a little bent. Sometimes you may not have that much flexibility in the hamstring, so a little bend is fine. You're going to grab the left leg, lower down the right, and then bring it back in towards you. Grab other leg, lower down, bring it in. Continue. Breathing. If you're an advanced practitioner, you're going to start to stretch a little bit more. If you are okay where you were before, don't worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and stretch a little bit more. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling. And then the knees will pause. Now you're going to lower the knees. We're going to start to get a little bit more dynamic with the movements and the core. Slowly, you're going to inhale and exhale. Be mindful. Your inhale here, and then we're going to exhale to come up, okay? So it's going to be inhale, and then exhale, roll up. Try to get there. It's going to be work, all right? That was cool. Slowly release and lower down. All the way. Hug your knees in for a second. Now you know what to expect. Knees are up, reaching your hands overhead. Exhale, lift and roll up halfway. Oops. Tap if you need to. It's okay if you lose a little balance. You're playing with your core. You can hold the knees in a little bit, stay on the sit bones. And then slowly you roll back down. Hugging it in. We're gonna do 2 more rounds. Breathing. Try your best to balance. Toes stay up, thighs stay together. You're on the sit bone, so you're balancing on your sit bone. I'm trembling a little bit, I'm shaking. And then slow release, lower. Hug it. Let's go for another. Knees are balanced over hips, hands are reaching. Exhale, rolling up. Beautiful. Breathing deeply, rolling down. Let's do 1 more roll up. That was fun. Reaching overhead. Inhaling. Exhaling, rolling up. Breathing. Now you're going to lift the feet and we're going to hold in what is called boat pose. I find boat pose to be so challenging. Hands are to the side. You're breathing. Try my best. Lengthen the legs up if you're a stronger practitioner. Hold the legs up here, breathing. Thighs are together. The thigh alignment stays the same if you're up here. You're squeezing your thighs towards each other. Your toes are tapping towards each other. Do not separate them. And then slow release all the way down. Legs long, upper body lowers, legs lower. Bring the knees in. We have a finisher, so we have something to close it all in. Interlace the hands behind the neck. Upper back lifts. Opposite elbow tap. Lower down all the way. Bring it in and switch. Opposite elbow, lower down all the way, tap. Bring it in and switch. Bring it in and switch. I'm shaking. Try your hardest to get the elbow to the knee. Try the hardest to keep the thighs towards each other. 1 more. Now, knees in the center. We're gonna do another roll up. You already got the hang of it. This one is going to transition into more an advanced pose, but you already know what to expect. You're gonna roll up, balanced. You have boat pose again. If you cannot get into the other more advanced pose, so you're holding here, boat pose is hard, good luck. If not, you're gonna boat pose. Now you're gonna lengthen. You're going to flex the feet. And then you're going to reach towards the foot. 1 hand, 1 hand. Now when you're here, you're squeezing your thighs together and you're bringing your toes together, your heels together, you're looking down. A lot of people will try to lift the upper back. You don't have to do that. Relax the shoulders in between. Beautiful, this is great. Now slow release down. Ooh, it's a good workout. Try it out. You can throw this into your routine. So just have fun, get strong, and work out your core.